Are you having trouble affording food, rent, and gas? In this video, we'll discuss easy-to-implement solutions that are already available to ease the strain on the current cost of living crisis we are facing. But let's review what we've already talked about from the previous videos. So we now understand Canada is involved in the deaths of 250,000 children under the age of 5 years old, and the government is looking to regulate and control speech and distribution of information on the internet. So the question is, what could we do about it? In the next video, we will discuss effective ways in which you can affect change in the present and the future, as well as hold our public elected officials accountable. Now let's have another discussion on the digital side of things. The European Union created digital regulations called the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR for short. To summarize the GDPR, if any corporate entity is caught confiscating or violating online users' personal data, they face severe financial penalties. A few examples are Amazon given a record €746 million fine by Luxembourg for data privacy breach. WhatsApp issued the second largest GDPR fine handed out by Ireland for €225 million Irish pounds. France issuing €50 million in fines to Google for data breach violations. How the money from these penalties are processed varies by the country issuing the fine in the EU, but generally the money goes back to the government treasury, hence back to the people and taxpayers. In Canada, we have an outdated version similar to the GDPR with a maximum penalty of $100,000 Canadian for violating our digital privacy rights. This is an insignificant penalty to trillion-dollar companies like Google, Amazon, and even multi-billion-dollar companies like Facebook for violating privacy rights and puts very little money back into our political system. In any case, the EU penalty structure is too low, and the Canadian penalty structure is virtually non-existent. If we were to align our laws with the GDPR, we would improve security for all Canadians, and the fines can go back into our system. This can help with economic recovery, lower taxes, or be used for government-run programs like improving our healthcare system, fight climate change, or ease the cost of living crisis that we are currently facing. Now to be clear, the government has proposed a similar bill to the GDPR called the CPPA that died in the House of Commons last year and did not even make it to vote. The question that all Canadians should have is, why was a digital bill to control data and information distributed to the Canadian population such a high priority over a bill that can greatly assist in our economic recovery? If you are having trouble affording rent, your mortgage, putting gas in your car, or buying food for your children, you need to ask why controlling data feeds and information was such a higher priority over other digital bills that can help with our cost of living crisis, which is the #1 priority to Canadians according to polls taken in 2021 before the last election. I'd like to start an organization called the Guardians of Digital and Human Rights. The goal of this organization is to hold our political leaders accountable for their actions, as well as to form and promote ideas to improve our quality of life. The formation of the GDHR is paramount to hold our leaders accountable. I ask that you again question, why is Canada supporting and fueling a conflict for a regime that violates human rights and is responsible for international war crimes in which innocent children are the main casualties of war? Yet we condemn and are heavily sanctioning Russia in the Ukraine conflict. Why was rushing a bill to grant the Canadian government authority to control the distribution of data and information to the public a higher priority over digital bills that would greatly assist in our economic recovery and cost of living crisis? These actions, amongst others, cannot go unchallenged, which is why we need an entity like the GDHR to inform the public and hold our leaders accountable for these actions. Any success of these initiatives is due to everyone watching, participating, and sharing this information. Making and fighting for changes I've discussed will be a difficult undertaking, and there is a financial goal to reach in order to start this process. Please see the following video titled How You Can Help, a Digital Call to Arms, to view free, easy, and effective ways to make your voices heard, as well as how to donate to help in the creation of the Guardians of Digital and Human Rights organization. I'll end this off with a quote from Malcolm X in his autobiography that summarizes what the GDHR will represent. I've had enough of someone else's propaganda. I'm for truth, no matter who tells it. I'm for justice, no matter who it is for or against. I'm a human being first and foremost, and as such, I'm for whoever and whatever benefits humanity as a whole. I generally hope everyone who is watching feels the same, and please watch the following video to take immediate action so we can make a difference in the here and now together. Sincerely yours, Sean Roberts, aka Just Another Human Being.